Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're doing the Auric programming journey, and tonight we're on number 9? Chakra function, which is the chakras. So this can be used for probably just about any condition, but especially when you're doing work with like the chakra blends, working with the colored blends like blue healer, green healer, um, any of the vibrational work. It could always be good. You're basically tuning up how the energy body is functioning. And so, there's different chakra systems. Sometimes there's seven, sometimes there's eight or nine, sometimes there's 11. So depending on which chakra system you're using, it would work for all of that. And let's just be very clear what a chakra is. It's an energetic pumping station that is in different parts of your body. And each pumping station has specific functions in the body and your emotions, your thoughts, and your spiritual connection. And what differentiates an energy center in an animal for us to be able to call that a chakra is there is an aspect of God within each of the chakras, where an animal is like associated with like an oversoul and it's this whole other thing, right? So this makes it very unique to a person. So when we do the Auric program itself, we're working the energetic mold or blueprint that eventually physicalizes into the body. And so here we're working the energetic mold or blueprint that eventually physicalizes as the function of the chakras themselves, which is a further materialization of the energy body. Now, the chakras are constantly pumping back and forth, like back and forth. They're constantly inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, right? And so, for the chakras to be able to function better, like spin better, and actually start to even increase in size, or if they're overregulated, overstimulated, they come back and begin to normalize. What allows this or facilitates this to happen is an increase of soul contact. So as you go through and you work this aspect of the chakra, both in the aura and then you work chakras in the body, you're increasing the energy levels, which are the fuel or gasoline for the physiological processes in the body. But that energy or that gasoline is tied to soul energy, right? So you're doing a lot when you're working with these. A lot of times in the West, we think of something as symptom oriented, but here you're just starting to work different aspects that would contribute to good health, good emotions, good thoughts and thought processes, and increase your spiritual practice or spiritual development. So there's a lot of different reasons that you could do this. And, here's the great thing with this work programming journey is we're experimenting with each and every one. So instead of having indirect experience with something that is written, you're going through and you're having an experiment and you're having direct experience with something that then you can call upon later. So let's have our little experiment tonight. So you have your chakra blend. It's just called chakras.
Yeah.
And first, we're going to start with the standard approach. Remember, this is something that can be done daily. This could be done as maintenance. This could also be mixed in with a stack with other Auric programs to do in a grouping. And so, right off the bat, we're going to begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the left side of your body, from the side of your face all the way down the left shoulder and hip, down the leg to the left outer ankle. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breath. You're on the front side of the body, the face and throat, the chest, all the way down the fronts of your legs to the tops of your feet, from your face all the way down. Then the right side of your body, the whole right side, the side of your face, right shoulder, right ribs, right hip, all the way down to the outer angle. And then the back side of your body, the whole back side, back of your head and neck, your whole back, your hips, down the backs of your legs to the backs of your feet. And then just pause and be still. How does that feel to you? Yeah. Like soothing or relaxing or so it always makes me space out. Yeah, it feels like meditation or I say. Okay. So we did the standard approach. Now we're going to do the advanced approach. So you're again starting with the left side of your body. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths from the side of your face all the way down to the outer ankle on the left side. I mean, I think what's happening is you're going into like more rest and repair mode, so like even just calming down or feeling soothed, it's like you're shifting out of that part of the nervous system. Now you're moving to the back side of the body. You're on the back side of the body, the back of the head and neck, your whole back, down the backs of your legs to the heels. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your right side of your body, right side of your face, neck, shoulder, your right hips, all the way down to the right outer ankle. On the right side of the body. The front side of your body, your face and throat, your chest, all the way down to the tops of your feet. You're just being still, letting go and being still. Start inhaling again. Your awareness is on the knees. The ankles, your awareness is on the ankles. And then the soles of your feet. And then just be still. Okay, now we're going to go around the other direction, doing the quadrants. Left side of your body. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths from the side of your face all the way down to your ankle. You're on the front side of the body, from the face all the way down to the tops of your feet. Nice, long, slow, deep breath. The right side of your body, right side of your face, all the way down to the right outer ankle. The back side of the body, back of your head, your whole back, down to your heels. And then just pause and be still. And then the last little piece, your awareness is on your brain. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Move your awareness to the spine. Do your brain and spine both at the same time. How's that train you? Yeah. Your brain and spine both at the same time. And then the brain and soles of your feet, both at the same time. Nice, long, slow, deep breath. And as you inhale, raise your awareness up above the ankles. As you exhale, move your awareness down into the earth. You're just pausing and being still. Notice your body, your emotions, the tension in your body. What about your thoughts? How about for you?
My thoughts were already starting to calm down just with the standard. But like by the time we got to that somatic part,
Mm-hmm.
that last bit, I mean, you could see I can't stop yawning.
Yeah, you are yawning like a machine gun.
Yeah. And it was just like that brain spine just
Yeah,
like hit something
yeah,
and it didn't stop.
yeah. But you feel more relaxed. I mean, you weren't wound up, but
No,
I
but I
mean,
could even feel myself like falling back in the couch
yeah,
here.
yeah. So let's go ahead and share. Unmute yourself, type in, ask whatever questions or do your share.
And again, these are questions and shares just for the Auric programming part, and we'll get to the regular Q&A after we do these shares and questions. Just 1 second. Go ahead, Emiliana, then Linda.
Hey,
Hey, so my question is about the advanced approach.
uh-huh.
Um, can you do more than one advanced approach in a sitting, or do you
You
recommend?
you could if the person's energy body could handle it. You know what I mean? Like if you took somebody like right off the street, it might be a little much for them. They might not be sensitive to it, but it might be a little much for them. But then on the flip side, if you need to crack open their energy body, maybe that is the case. Because like sometimes a person's field is so congested that they can handle more because it's like you're breaking through this like kind of shell. And so if the person's super sensitive or relatively sensitive, it might be a little much as well. As I talk out the person off the street, I almost say like double down and maybe do it. Do advanced stuff. I think that actually might be okay. Um, People who are doing like a lot of other treatments, like say they're on herbs or they're already doing some oil processes, getting some sort of healing. I would gauge it based on how much they're doing. If it's a moderate amount, I would say, yeah, go ahead and do uh, two advanced approaches in a week. I mean, if a person can handle it, they could do two different Auric programs in a week, advanced approach, but they could even do it twice a week. But um, a lot of people, their energy body they'll just get congested. Basically, what will happen, and so for a little bit of time that opens that up. One of the ways that you could offset that, like if they are doing more intense work, is use a little extra like mugwort or moxie to like just keep everything moving. that could actually be quite helpful. And so I would say there's kind of not a right answer or a wrong answer, but
Uh,
like when in doubt, I usually tell them to step back. But when I'm working with people one on one, I've had many people do multiple advanced approaches in a week, and then even a couple of times a week. But I almost kind of do it on a case by case basis.
thank you. And my next question is about doing an advanced approach, like one advanced approach, and then doing an auric stack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could totally do that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like that would be
There-
fine in
and the reason being that phase where we go left, back, right, front, it's really it's not just making your energy body like expel or release, but even there's a kind of energy that's down below your feet that is tied to some of your physiological processes, and it's kicking some of that out. And so if 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 you only did that once, that advanced approach, and then you did a couple of different stacks, you'd be totally okay. It's like when you start doing multiple things of where you do that reverse quadrant circulation, whatever you want to call that. It will make more come out below your feet, and your body has to like kind of process it, which it does, and then kicks it off. But you're almost like breaking up the sources of the blockages when you do that route. Depending on the person, it might come out in their arms and legs, and depending on the subject, it might come out through the organs of blood purification. Sometimes it comes out the spine, and so the stacks you could do all day long. You know, the person will probably get tired or sleepy before they could like have to stop really. You know what I mean? But that one where you do the reverse pattern,
Mhm.
that's fun. It's like, if you overdo it, you're just going to get congested. But still, sometimes that can make you a little sleepy, a little sluggish, and slow down some of the healing processes if you get, too congested.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. And if in doubt, like you can always email us and let us know. But like if you're doing processes, like if you had clients that were coming in, you were doing it, and you'd been working on 'em for a while, I mean, I would do multiple cycles of the advanced thing. But if it's maybe their first time, it might be a little bit much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then go ahead, Linda, then Dorothy.
Hey, Linda.
Hey, hi. I don't really have a question tonight, but I just did want to share with you that whatever it is that we're doing with all of this, I'm really noticing a lot of, I'm going to call it strengthening of my energetic system for
Yeah.
being,
Yeah.
especially for being out in the world
Yeah.
and like in different situations where I might normally have gotten very anxious or upset or had
Right.
perhaps even a panic attack. That's not happening. And I'm
Right.
so just
Good
more,
for you. And we're
yeah.
only on what, 9? Wait till we get 29.
Yeah, but I mean this, and then I'm doing so many other practices along with it that it's really fascinating. And I'm also noticing a lot more I'm for lack of a better word, I'm going to call it telepathy. But
Yeah.
that the ability to like be understand what's being thought or said or other people even understanding me without words. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Because if you think about it, you could talk about that a lot of different ways. For one, communication isn't just our words, it's body language and it's an energy that moves back and forth. And, cleaning up the Auric programs of the system, for one, you're kind of cleaning up the filter, but you also gain a kind of sensitivity. Like your energy body gets refined enough to where like when it's out and touching things or people interact with it, it's actually giving you information and bringing it back to the brain to be processed. I mean, that's part of what clairvoyance is it's a refinement of, I mean, one aspect, it's a refinement of the energy body so that there's almost like these little receptors in the energy body that, you look at somebody and the energy mixes and comes back and goes bop, 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 bop in your head. you know, or an item or a situation or a picture, you know, whatever it might be. And then also, you know, like you said, like normally you might get anxious or something. Some of those things are like triggers and things, you know, like we're going to be talking about on the weekend. And we've talked about it in a bunch of different ways, but some of them are in the body in your physiology, but some of it is also in the aura. And you know, like little thought forms, little pieces of trauma, what you know, whatever it might be, little, you know, because a lot of like what we would call like dirty gray energy, like if you were to look at the aura clairvoyantly, is a lot of instinctive material, like you know, instinctive thoughts and instinctive reactions, and you know, there's elements and elementals and low emotional stuff, and so like when you start cleaning all that stuff up, when you have those interactions, that energy would seek out like what it is or be attracted to what it is. And so as you clean that up, you're able to start moving around in public, and there's not the little Velcro things that you hit as you go through a crowd or a person or whatever. And so it does change things. I would say, um, you know, at times when you stimulate clairvoyance without like refining the energy body and you go out in public, it can be a little bit overwhelming. Like you know, just for a while, but it gets to be like too like overstimulating. You know what I mean? Like you're having to process things and there's just sensitivities and you know the body's a little reactive. But when you really refine the aura and you're getting out those pieces of information for whatever reason, it's not overstimulating. It's just like I would say the biggest struggle for me, and I would say that I mean this is why it's even in the four directions is you know we tend to have like our thought processes that we engage. And when you're out and about, just to be observing. And when you have to think, you think, but you're really observing and you're processing this information. And it's like kind of like passing through you. And you know, you're making your adjustments however you need to make. But it's not like you go, okay, I'm gonna do this, and this, and then I'm gonna walk over there and go to the store. You just start doing those things and reacting and adjusting. And you know, I would say sometimes I don't even know why at the moment, but then looking back 5 minutes later, I'll go, oh, that's why I did that. You know, oh, like, you know, but you're processing information that is more than just of the senses. You know, so you are taking in, you know, okay, there's a group of people here and everybody's super stressed out or everybody's angry or you know what I mean? You like, you're going through a crowd and they're like that person looks a little creepy, but you don't even think about it like that. You just go stay away from that. And you know, you just kind of start like weaving yourself through the interactions and
That's the way I would describe it. I feel like I'm very in the flow with things. I'm
right.
just going with things, and it's just
Yeah.
and yes, about the observation, I definitely feel like I'm really observing everything so much more without being emotionally engaged by it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And it's very helpful. I mean, with the grand
Yeah.
soap opera that's going on the planet right
Yeah.
now,
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a crazy time. I
it
mean,
is.
how long have
And it
we
is.
been saying that? But it's like it's just been a crazy time for the last like I don't know how many years.
Yeah. So thank you very much because I just wanted to let you know that I really am noticing. It's like I don't necessarily notice it individually with the different oils, but what I'm noticing is as a collective,
Right.
as a process,
Right.
some pretty amazing things are going on. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. You know, Samantha's the one that came up with doing this whole journey. And at first I was like, whoa, you know, how are we going to do it? What's it going to look like? But, you know, I started thinking about it, I was like, man, when I really work the work programs, just think about going through every one of them every week. And Yeah, I mean that's almost like a practice unto itself. And so many times we go, okay, I'm going to treat this health issue, that health issue, which is still good, but to go through and just systematically go through one thing at a time, I mean, it's kind of amazing.
It is, and I like the fact that I'm not treating an issue. I'm
Right,
just developing
right,
the energy body in different ways.
right.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sam. You're brilliant.
Yeah. And then when symptoms do come up, they become easier to treat.
Mhm,
That's the thing too. It's like the more that you kind of work this stuff.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah, part of what happened for me on Saturday night was a rather uncomfortable and harrowing situation in downtown Portland, culminating in my falling, and my body has been healing so fast.
right.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
amazing. Yeah.
I was
So
just going to try to come up with like some example of that, but that's perfect example. Like I should have been a lot more hurt and jacked up than I am. Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so thank you, thank you,
Good,
thank you.
good, good.
And then go ahead, Dorothy. And then I think we'll, after Dorothy, I didn't have any real chat ones, so you can raise your hand and we'll go into our regular Q&A. But please go ahead, Dorothy.
Hey, hey.
Hey, I thank you both for doing this with us also. Uh, anyway, I wanted to comment on this particular blend. Uh,
Mhm.
so it says in the list that we can directly apply it to the chakras.
Sure.
And so I had ordered a roller ball of this blend. And lots of days when I wake up, if I just don't quite feel like myself or my
Mhm.
energy's a little low, I'll put that on. I'll drink coffee and before I take a bath and get dressed, and I can really tell a difference, Greg.
Oh, I bet.
I can,
Yeah, good
yeah,
for you. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Uh,
So where's your favorite spot to be kind of be putting it when you do?
Sorry. Well, my body tends to get migraines, or if it's not a full migraine, it might be pressure. So I'll
Mhm.
start with the Ming Me.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
actually, I mentioned in Saturday's class that I had started the morning with the migraine. So I put some blue healer on body tonic on the Ming Man, and then I put the chakra blend on there. But
Yeah, yeah,
anyway,
good
but
job.
but I
Good job.
usually also put it on the heart and the solar and the navel. Uh,
Good.
but I wanted to ask. I was thinking, one of your oldest blends is the chakra root
Mhm.
cleanser, the root cleanser. So I just occurred to me, what do you think? Would it be even more helpful to layer the chakra blend with the
Yeah,
CRC?
so one of the things that you could do is you could put the like the chakra blend on, the areas that you wanted to do. And then you could inhale that and you could direct it to a specific area or you just inhale it.
It held the CRC.
Yeah, yeah. And even do the quadrants with the CRC.
Oh,
Because it's the thing with the chakra root cleanser is it's about breaking up blockages in the body.
okay.
And so it's a good way to like you've stimulated the chakras to be, functioning at a higher rate, and then you start breaking up the blockages. And it's like, the more that you bring in like a higher quality of essence, it will begin to shift the structure or the form. So it could be a body part, it could be an area that needs healing, it could be a joint, it could be whatever. And so, say you even had like elbow that was bothering you, you maybe you put it on the throat and the solar plexus but you could even dab a little bit on the elbow so
Okay.
the minor chakra starts functioning better. So anywhere where there's a chakra, and then, the chakras go down to minor chakras, and then the minor chakras go down to meridians, and like it just keeps going like that. So it would go up and down that scale.
Okay, so we're talking about applying the chakras blend in an oil, say the roller ball,
yeah, to
on
where
all those.
yeah,
But
and then
but
do
then
the
I was
quadrants
going
with the CRC.
and
Yeah,
then do okay. Okay,
yeah.
so, I'm sorry, I was talking. So the CRC, as we said, I could do the side, the aura. But did you say inhale the CRC on the
The
chakras
quadrant,
on
right.
this? Okay.
No, on the quadrants, on the quadrants.
Okay,
Mhm.
just the quadrants. That's
Yeah, I
all
would
for
just
the
do the quadrants.
CRC.
Yeah, I just do the quadrants.
Okay, well, what about I do have the spray. I
Sure.
mean, would that the CRC spray, would that be helpful
Like
to
a quick fix for the aura.
yeah, that's
Perfect.
trying
Yeah,
to be kind of quick.
sure.
All right, but other than the quadrants of the aura, there's no other place you
Oh
would
no, there's all kinds of
inhale the
applications, but
CRC.
yeah, there's all kinds of applications, but I'm just trying to make it not too complicated.
Right,
Like
right.
with what you're talking about, that's a good combination.
Okay,
Like taking a salt bath would be a good combination, like you said, using the spray.
okay,
You can use it on the body and the areas and organs and things like that, directing it with sustained inhalation.
okay.
But for what you're trying to do there, and it sounds like it's kind of like maintenance and a little bit of treatment, like that the chakras, applying them, I'd still do the chakra quadrant, the standard version, but throw in the CRC with that as well. And then, like say, you're trying to address the migraine thing, you could inhale a little CRC into the kidneys or something like that, or the spine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You could inhale it into an area, but without making it a super complicated, 2-hour process.
Right,
Like here, it sounds like, it's part of your day. You want to spend 15, 20 minutes doing something, feeling better, and then move on. And so that's why I was trying to keep it simple like that.
well, yeah, that was my goal. And
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, it just occurred to me that
Yeah.
adding the CRC to the chakra blend might, enhance the effect more. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went through, and like the Auric program is the program, but remember the Sandalphon technique plays into the Auric program.
Oh, yeah.
The Auric waves and, all those pieces. And we are going to come around and visit that again in a little while. But it will be all the different classes will be organized into one thing for you guys to be able to just go through and look at. The Auric programming will be the main thing, but it's kind of like how here you have an advanced approach. There will be like an advanced approach of working the aura. But um, with all the information that we got going, and they're all kind of the pieces are coming together. Like I don't want to keep throwing so much at everybody, so we're just trying to do these little pieces that get digested, and then we move to the next thing. But the Auric program, we are going to be visiting those aspects, redoing like all the Aura classes, like 2.0 versions, and talking about how they integrate and doing mashups and all of that stuff. So all those old classes they're not going away. They're coming back around again, kind of in full force here in a few months.
Okay. Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much
you're
for
so
all of
welcome.
these wonderful
Yeah, you're so
classes.
welcome.
And that does complete the ARC and somatic programming. Our journey for tonight. Next week is going to have cholesterol support as your oil. So have that handy for next week. And thanks for being here for today. And let's go ahead and start our regular Q&A. Robert, then Ralph.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Greg. I have sort of a transition. First, a bit of Auric programming.
Okay.
Your thing about and your discussion about how we heal faster and it's easier to bring change when you're doing the Auric programs. It's been really amazing since we've started that when I observe something that is aggravating me or triggering me or irritating me, once I become aware of it, it's almost like it shifts on its own.
Yeah, yeah, I would completely agree with that. Because if you think about like all the talk that we do about like intellect and intuition, and in the body it's homeostasis and allostasis. But like sometimes those things that are triggering or a little bit aggravating, they're part physical, they're part psychological. But if we are able to, like you said, just observe it, just the observation begins to shift it, like it moves it, because in that observation you're shifting from intellect, which is going to do repetition, and you bounce over to the intuitive thing, and it's movement, and either you resolve it, you walk away from it, it stops bothering you, you accept it, whatever it is. I would agree. And it would be amazing if we could get to the place where we don't get triggered, but it's part of our biology. And so, I remember hearing, and I've shared this before, but I remember hearing somebody asked this of the Dalai Lama, and they didn't use the word triggered. I think they said angry. Do you ever get angry? And he's like, "Oh yeah, totally. I totally get angry." Because, but it passes. It passes really fast, in a couple of minutes. And that's the thing is we have the conditioning of our past, but we also have like genetic like conditioning or genetic instincts that are just tied to like surviving in nature. And so there's some of the instinctive responses we're born with, and we might not be able to change the responses, but you can temper them and not be as reactive. And in doing so, it allows you just to keep shifting. But those little triggers, man, they hide everywhere. And so cleaning up the aura is kind of like doing it from the outside in. And then some of the classes that we do in the vibrational realm are doing it from the inside out. And eventually they meet. And when that happens, it's like you said, it starts to be like, yeah, this would aggravate me. And then you take a couple of breaths and you go, okay, but like, what are we going to do about it? Or like, for me, sometimes it'll even be like, okay, I see where that person's coming from, or that situation, or why that company's doing that. I kind of get it. I might not like it, but I get it. And sometimes I realize that I might not have done something wrong in the moment, but like sometimes, like how I set things up, that eventually it produced the problem. And so, for me, sometimes I'll step back and go, yeah, I kind of caused that with something I put in motion like a couple of months ago. And I just, because you, especially when you're busy, like you put something in motion and then you kind of stop paying attention to it. And it keeps, manifesting. And it's like, well, like, well, perfect example is like you're running and, uh, you're that's not a good example. Perfect example. You wouldn't have reference like that. Yeah, I think you get the idea though. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I know that in some of the cases, the shifts are temporary or maybe even not the highest and best to go after, but it shifts me out of the momentary
Right.
aggravation
Right.
and
Right. Right.
allows me to see it from a different perspective, that assemblage point, and sort of look around and go, oh, there's a different way to do this. And
Right.
that's what I've been told over and over is, like the trigger's been there for a long time, and
Right.
now I'm recognizing it for what it is. And then I just step back and say, oh, I could do this so differently,
Right.
and life would be so much easier.
Right.
It's
So here's the weird thing that kind of happens for me, like since we're like talking this out, is sometimes as the situation starts to shift, I was really used to the way that it was, and I kind of stand there going like, okay, I like the way this is going, but I kind of don't know what to do. Or like, I don't want to say I miss the old thing, but it's like at least I knew what to expect or something. There's like this weird little like, yeah, everything's
Agree.
okay, right? Or like this is like, because it becomes like so different that, when the mind kicks in, when the intellect kicks in, you're like, this is very different than before. I don't know what's gonna happen. My brain will do that for a little bit, and then I'm just like,
Yeah,
you-
there's parts of it that's about not being familiar with where we're
yeah,
going. There's also, and we've talked about these in classes before, the sort of grief or sadness that
yeah,
comes from the loss of
totally,
what we
yeah,
know. And I tend to find myself there.
right,
And it's not overwhelming, but it's like,
no,
um, I didn't expect that. I guess I had just grown used to being in the spot and
right.
oh, okay, I can give it
A-
up.
And the thing that I guess like I liked your words better, like the grief. Sometimes I'm grieving something that I really didn't like. That sounds really super weird, but it's like that thing that really sucked. Oh, it's gone. It's kind of like that for a minute, and I'm just
Hard.
like, oh, God, like sometimes I think I'm just a lunatic.
It's human nature, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
We identified with it. We got used to it. That's what it is. But
yes.
in the moment, it's still like, oh, that thing that used to just cause me so much suffering and kick me right in the crotch. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah,
Ugh,
many of
really?
us talk about, my life is full of suffering or it's a
Right,
struggle,
right,
and we
right.
identify with that rather than finding a different
Yeah,
place to go or a way to not even giving up a adjective to describe ourselves
yeah.
because we really don't need those.
No, no.
It's so freeing to not have
Yeah,
as many of them.
yeah.
Uh,
I agree.
So
Yeah.
the second part of this is leading into the Q&A part, and
Mhm.
this one's a very symptomatic kind of thing.
Okay.
One of my family members has used another company's blend for like sore throats and things like that, and she would gargle it, and
Uh-huh.
it would bring great relief.
Uh-huh.
Uh, do we have anything we can use for that, or what would you
Well,
suggest?
bay laurel is one of the better things to do.
Okay.
Um, Monarda can be helpful for a sore throat, like a gargle if it's associated with like the gums or dental stuff. Like, sometimes if there's like a infection in a tooth or something, will start to cause a sore throat sometimes. So that can happen. But even things like geranium, geranium can help knock out a sore throat.
Is that a
Um,
gargoyle?
yeah, gargle and maybe even a couple drops internal. I usually have people
She's
do
looking
both.
for gargle for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah. She can do it with bay laurel. She could do it with geranium. Another one that works really well is turmeric.
Okay,
Turmeric will usually knock out a sore throat kind of quickly.
okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. But bay laurel is probably the most amazing out of all of
So a few drops in some water and just gargle.
them. Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah. Sometimes like in Ayurvedic practices, they'll do a thing where they like scrape the tongue or something, you know? And I've had practitioners from that kind of practice like reach out for like, hey, what could I use? And usually what we do is we make them like a little spray that has bay laurel in it, and they spray it on their tongue like after I don't know if they do it before or after, but they spray it on their tongue, and it breaks up the bacteria and stuff. And they say it works really good on the tongue, but like it's kind of doing the same thing.
okay,
You're cleaning up the lymph nodes and the mouth, and the bay laurel is very good for lymph nodes, but it's also very good for bacteria that might be like in the mouth or in the throat. So you're getting it like a 1-2 punch.
excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you very
yeah.
much. I'll pass it on.
Okay.
And then go ahead, Ralph, then Lolly.
Hey, Ralph.
Hey, Greg. Um, let's see. So I have ongoing mental issues like the infamous squirrel,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm wondering, going through Life Alter, will um section 8 or segment 8 address the ongoing
Let me
squirrels?
look. Let me look. Let's see.
That's segment 8 is the psychic or the psyche section, universal healing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me look at it. Just
Okay.
but that 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 could be helpful. 7, 8, the psyche. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. The do you also have what was the one that was the defense mechanisms? The like last one.
Yeah. Why is my mind's a blank? What's that called?
Was that the mashup of the
No, it was the last new class.
I'll find it. Just gonna take me a sec. Unless Robert can figure it out before me.
and can I use mental steel with this segment 8?
Yeah. Oh, for that section.
Not for that section, but in addition to.
Yeah, you definitely an addition.
Yes.
Resonance. There you go.
Thank you.
Did you do the resonance class?
Yes, I think, yeah, I did.
Okay, let me look at that real quick. Okay, so in that section of the resonance class, segment 1,
Mhm.
you could do those two together. I would go a little bit heavier on the resonance class.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like it cleans up elementals, it cleans up energy of thought, it cleans up thought forms and homeostatic emotion, reactions to projections from other people, and then the last piece that fleshes out stress.
Okay.
And so, it's a general way to approach doing like a kind of psychotherapy, and the issue will come up, but it won't come up like this. It just kind of comes up to the surface of the energy body, and depending on what it is, it might pass kind of quickly, but it might take a little bit. But you won't be like usually grinding on details. You'll just know like something's up, but it will process and keep moving through. Now, if it's really big, you'll have to keep doing this process over and over again. But one of the ways that I direct it for myself, because I have a little leather pouch that has just that segment 1, where it's in my go bag. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Okay.
And like if I go down to our little temple area, like I grab that bag, and I mean I work out of that bag, and that's one of those things that I work, even if I'm doing other processes like with tools or something, I still pull that out and work it. And it just makes everything move and flow. And a lot of times when we have these things, like if you think of like the squirrel or the thing that's nagging you, it's repetitive. It's just repetitive.
Oh yeah,
And
there's a couple of them that come up like
yeah,
that.
they
Yeah.
just, they take pride in their work, grinding on you or like saying whatever, you know what I mean? And the the aspect also um diminishes like that instinctive material, like those instinctive triggers. And
Mhm.
so that uh, the part that is psychic projections from others, which is the
Mhm.
blend is vital centers.
Yeah.
Another way to say that is, you could say, I don't like using the word psychic attack because there's like a lot of drama with that. Like, oh, they're after me, they're doing something. When it's sometimes people just can't regulate their emotions, or they have some weird thought process. They might be malicious, they might not, but um, another way of saying that is when a projection comes at you, your body has an instinctive response. Like their body is having an instinctive response because, whatever, they're not getting their way, or they're upset, they're angry. So it projects it, and then your body projects. And so that idea of E is, it's basically diminishing the psychic projections that go back and forth, the instinctive, triggers and responses. And
Mhm.
so, um, in times where like you might have like some thoughts in your head, and then they pass and then they come up. Some of it might be reactions to triggers in the environment, even though the person or the old event or whatever it is isn't there. It's like there's some scar tissue in the field, and so then when your scar tissue kind of feels the things that are remotely similar, might not even have anything to do with you, but just remotely similar, it'll start hitting the body. And so I like this because it kind of cleans things up both internally and potential triggers, and it just kind of flushes things out, gets it moving, and then you can be more specific to anything that you want to do. And so, like here, you have universal healer. Yeah,
Yes.
universal healers in there. And so, one of the things that you can do, like you go through and you do the flush, but it's good for stress and it's good for thought forms. It does two jobs in this little protocol. You can sit and think of, the situation, be it that the thoughts are arising, or if, say, you're grinding on a situation or somebody's grinding on you, just think of the situation and it will keep breaking down the thought forms and the stress, which is, stress is just in one way or another, you're being pushed out of equilibrium, out of balance. And so even if it's like shifting in a good way, you'll still have a bit of a stress response. And so that idea of using like, poplar, or here universal healer, which is a bit stronger, because it's the poplar and the bay laurel together. It's quite effective, you know.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, it's quite effective. And there's always different little process, but we were even just talking about this like tonight. How we're doing the classes with the mashups. I think I'm going to pull out like little segments from different classes, and make like a little mashup thing for you guys, to where you can pull from the different classes, but I'll tell you why to do each piece. And
Mhm.
basically like doing um, uh, different kinds of psychotherapy, or different preparations for spiritual practice, or if you're dealing with some really chronic or severe health issue, that you can just go, from these 4 or 5 classes, I take little pieces from them all and put them together in this mashup, and that can be my practice just by itself. So we are going to be doing more of that. And
That would be most excellent.
yeah, and so this one that I'm talking about right now, and then some of the stuff from Life Alter,
Mhm.
the one from Life Alter that's real good is the one that has true nature and the primordial self.
Okay.
But I'll write it out for you guys in a mashup. And then there's a process like in this coming up weekend that's all about like triggers, and like calming down each of the systems of the body. So if you take like a piece from each of them, and I mean that would be pretty potent little kit. And like for me, like I said, I have these little leather bags that I put like each from each kit, and like that they are in my go bag. I mean, I use the variations. um I used to travel with more oils, but now if I have that little go bag, I'm kind of good. Like I keep a little travel bag and then I go back and I am so good.
All
Yeah.
right, good. Okay, I'm having some body work the next
Uh-huh.
couple of days.
Uh-huh.
And what oil do I take internally or topically? Because after I have this body work done by this particular person for a couple of days, my body is saying, "Hey, things are different, things are changed," and
Yeah.
yeah, I
Um,
my body, my intellect likes to interpret it as being uncomfortable, but I know it's just my body telling me that
are
things are
you
a little
getting
different.
sore and achy or you just feel like your body's shifting around?
It's body shifting around, and it's not
Okay.
real comfortable, but I know it's just body shifting.
Okay.
Is this marjoram maybe?
Marjoram would probably be helpful. Do you happen to have out of one of the kits lobelia tincture?
That one I'll have to look up.
It's been in a few of the free kit for purchase classes. I don't know if it's ever made it to a paid class.
Okay, lobelia tincture. I'll
Yeah.
look it up.
If you had that, that would be good.
Okay,
It just because it relaxes the body, relaxes the fascia. So marjoram would be good. Um, Even like a little bit of like spikenard or vetiver internally could
got
be
that.
good.
Got that.
Yeah, and you could even rub a little spikenard on your feet. And like when they do the work, is it painful or like
No,
what's
it's trigger point. It's
okay,
a
true.
variation of trigger point. So
Right,
it's not like I'm going in to be Rolf. No.
right. Um, for you, even try taking, maybe my first choice might be taking a few drops of lemongrass.
I got that.
Yeah, let's have you do that.
Okay.
2 or 3 drops of lemongrass and then go in and get the body work.
Okay.
Afterwards, do marjoram like salt bath or body tonic or drops on the body, something.
Oh yeah, I salt with
Yeah,
bath. Yeah, I'll do
yeah.
that.
Like
Mhm.
that's I would do that.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
And then go ahead, Lolly, then Letty.
Hey, Lily.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good.
So yeah, the practice right now is lovely. I think my body just needs sleep and rest
Yeah,
and relaxation. So yeah.
I would agree.
Oh my God. So okay, let's
Yeah.
follow up on the craziness that's my life from last week. So last week I mentioned that my eye was kind of swollen. Oh
Hmm.
good God. So that was that's still a nightmare. So basically it ended up getting worse.
Okay.
That's the left side, left eye on this outside on the top, the eyelid. So went to see the doctor. The doctor's like, well, it's a sty, not contagious. Just do hot compresses. You don't need anything else. Okay, so I've been doing that, and that's been going on now for a little bit over a week. Still taking lemongrass, still doing all the practices we talked about.
Hmm.
Then right now, and it was really painful. Red, swollen. Right now, it looks somewhat better. I still have a bump, so it still needs to be resolved. It's not
Hmm.
painful anymore. In addition to that,
You do have like a little bump.
yeah, I have a bump on the top, so something still needs to be cleared out. Like there's
Yeah.
still something there. And there's still
And how
inflammation.
often are you doing the hot compresses?
Not as often as I should. I do 3 times a day. He told me
Oh,
like
no, that's pretty good.
he told me every couple of hours, but I ended up actually working on the weekend with
Yeah, like every couple hours would be great if you weren't doing anything and you were just sitting at home and, binge
he,
watching some TV or something. But,
yeah.
that you're working and doing things and having a busy lifestyle 3 times a day is good.
D-
Yeah.
yeah. So then, in addition to that situation, though, on Friday, the other side, so that's going to be the right eye, the bottom side of the eye on the inside, I developed this. It's another probably type of style, but this is like this. The description is so gross. It's like white that needs to come out. Basically, it looks god awful. It's now. I had to take Advil, and for me to take Advil, it's like normal people take prescription. That's the equivalent. So this one is on the outer. That's the right side, bottom on the the inside part. This has been.
And the doctor didn't see that one.
They did. I texted yesterday before coming in. They showed him everything. He said to do the same. Now this one has been, oh my God, so much stuff been like releasing from that. Now the pain is better, but the amount of pain I've been in the last few days is crazy, and it's swollen a little bit on the side, even under my eye, like there's some swelling. I'm still doing the same thing, still doing the compress. I'm taking internally lemongrass, tarragon, myrrh, black cumin, galbanum, because I'm inflammation, so I figured that will help. 3 wise men, because the glands are kind of clogged, probably figured might help. Doing inhalations with lemongrass, doing a few other things like ANS, all the stuff we talked about. The other thing I noticed, which probably related, I've been working with the lymphatic blend as well. I noticed that on the right side, on my neck, it's kind of under my jaw. It's a little bit painful and a little bit inflamed, which I'm thinking it's the lymph nodes that are not happy.
Probably. Yeah.
So the good thing is that there is improvement from yesterday or from like a few days ago. The not great thing is that this is not a good situation. I look obviously not great. And interestingly enough, the skin on my face that I had issues with, like all the stuff, the breakup, that actually looks much better. So
good.
So it's like things are moving. So I don't know what's.
Yeah, I mean, it's just some of the stuff's coming to a head. Like your body is moving in the right direction, but still, sometimes it's like when I joke about cleaning up the crime scene, like the body was in a state for a while, and for whatever reason, it's hitting your eyes and your face and your skin, and so I mean, all those things that you're doing are good for the general things of the body. The hot compresses are good for the eyes. I mean, you're doing enough to where I don't know that I would necessarily add anything. I mean, if you you might want to trade something out or something, but like if you wanted to explore a couple other things, golden seal internally, just because it stimulates the immune system, but it also very good for lymphatic function and things like that, and it has been used to clear things up in the eyes. I don't remember it ever being something that is super fast, but it would help clean things up. And then the other thing is just to do some good old-fashioned blood purifier like echinacea or St. John's wort, something like that, just to keep kind of cleaning the blood up.
Okay, it's fine.
That you got them like on both sides. I mean,
I've had that. So last time I had styes or situation similar was a year ago. And then I had both sides, but nothing like that. Like this white situation that I have going on the right side is
okay, so you're a bit predisposed to it a little bit.
But never ever like that. Like this is
Yeah. Well, keep doing the things you're doing. I mean, I don't know that there's anything new, different, or better to be doing. You just got to keep nudging the body in the right direction, and you're doing that. So.
Would you still doing the lemongrass, do you think?
I mean, I think that's good just because like all the difficulties and stresses that you're going through for quite a while, it's helping to balance out. If you want to rotate it with something, which I get, like, sometimes I do that. Anise could still be a good choice. Litsia cubeba could be a good choice. Even tarragon somewhat. I would probably lean more to the lemongrass or anise. But you know, I would say even though you have some difficulties, but parts of you are also like you started off the thing saying I just need to rest and relax,
Mhm.
where like you can tell your body's starting to calm down, and I mean because you had a crazy run there for a while, between the fires and
Yeah.
going home to Israel and um, so the thing is you'll hit a point where you're like, oh, I'm starting to relax, I'm starting to feel better, but you got to keep going past that. Like, even though you're
Yeah.
starting to have some relief, there's more relief down there. Like, so like I would say, even as the body starts to feel better and you're starting to feel like, oh, I'm really starting to, you know, get the juice back in my legs and feel like myself, I'd still take it down a notch, like keep kind of pushing it for a little while and
Mhm.
let your body reboot. And and it sounded like you had, just from your industry and everything, stress for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah.
So it's good to just do like almost like a stress detox for a while.
Yeah.
And you're doing all the things. So I wouldn't say that there's anything different that you need to do. You just gotta have a little bit more time and let gravity do what it's going to do, and just like kind of settle your bones and you know calm the
And
nervous system and just let your body recover and recuperate.
and then so the two things that I was wondering about. So in terms of the inflammation, so really taking I actually been doing some more with the black cumin. Was
Uh-huh.
that a good option, like black cumin and galbanum?
It,
Because they
well,
like
it
inflammation.
definitely good anti-inflammatory and good for the
Okay.
skin, and good for just anything where your body needs to go in repair mode. But I find that one to be very easily tolerated.
Yeah.
Like if sometimes how like you're doing something, you're like, I just feel like I need a break, and you don't really know.
Yeah.
If that came to be a thing that you're dealing with, I would say turmeric would be something that you could rotate it out with. I'd even put ginger in there, like for the
I
stuff
have.
going on, but still, black seed or black cumin would be my first choice. But
Okay.
like if you needed a break, you could rotate to some of those other
Yeah.
ones for a little bit. But I would stick with the black cumin.
So I do black cumin, then I actually do ginger and turmeric in another
Mhm.
in another blend, and then I do the ginger with apple cider vinegar,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the
Perfect.
tonic thing that I do. And then um what I'm also wondering about is, oh, and I'm also taking liberation to clean things out, because I started doing that because I thought maybe there's a mold situation, so I've been
Yeah,
doing that.
you could probably hold off on that one.
Okay.
Maybe just a few days. Clear
Okay.
the eye stuff up. Yeah, clear the eye stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then would you take any oh my God, train of thought. So for the lymph, because it sounds like you mentioned there's some kind of a lymph stagnation. Would you do anything for that, or the glands that are blocked? Like, would anything for that be helpful?
I would say just because you're having such a weird thing with the eyes, I would stick with what you're doing. I wouldn't add a whole lot. I would keep with the hot packs, but if you're going to explore anything, I'd either be golden seal or echinacea or St. John's wort.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
not necessarily do so. Wait with like the three wise men or on these other things for a little bit.
I mean, they would be okay, but you're already doing black cumin and stuff. Like I think,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, because I kind of started doing all of a sudden a lot of things. Like,
yeah,
okay, so I can wait on deliberation and wait on the other one. Okay.
yeah. Liberation you'll be using soon, but right now I'd say give because the thing with liberation is it's stimulating the body, and you're using lemongrass to calm the body, and so you're
Okay.
you're kind of they'll still work, but you need to be able to let your body go into like weekend Netflix binge mode for like a little bit or something,
Oh my God, yeah.
just,
And so,
you know
and
what I mean? Like you
yeah,
just gotta
and
have a little bit of like downtime, and cinnamon
and
is not going to tolerate that.
okay.
You know
So
what
yeah,
I
and
mean?
sim
Like
yeah,
cinnamon is like, why are you laying down? It's,
okay.
you got stuff to do. Like I
Okay.
let yourself rest for a little bit. I
So
really like that for you.
okay, because another thing that ended up happening is that because I wasn't in class this weekend and I had a feeling I might work, was a maybe. Anyway, I ended up last minute booking a really big job that's up.
Oh, good.
It
Yeah.
sounds very impressive, and yeah. Um, so I even had to work, which was a lot of. The good thing is that I have to tell you, like Linda mentioned, that kind of things. She felt like things been kind of changing
Mhm.
in the way she's handling things. I definitely felt that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there were like it was like a very high profile job, tons of people around, tons of other makeup people. So, but I was just like, I'm here doing my thing, moving on, going home. I didn't let things get to me, so thank you. That was
Good.
yeah.
Good.
And one of my go-tos lately that I keep on using on my wrists actually a lot and doing inhalations is self-acceptance.
Yeah. It's a good blend.
Yeah, so one of my
Oh, very good blend.
yeah. And then, so thank you. I'm also still working with the lymphatic blend, which something about it makes my body just feels better, like something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like anytime you've been under a lot of stress, it's just mechanics. Your stress is going to impact the lymphatic system, and it's not going
Yeah.
to flow for very much. So, it's like the garbage men have been on strike for a while. So they're, picking stuff up again and cleaning up the neighborhood, and it feels nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, so I've been doing that. And then another thing that I noticed again, so a couple of nights ago, I was again going to bed super late, but as I was really in bed, couldn't even fall asleep because the pins and needles were so terrible.
Mm,
And I guess it what comes back to the same thing. Last night was fine actually.
yeah.
Last night I was really surprised I was actually fine, maybe because I used even more
Yeah.
of that blend.
Yeah. I think you're going to have your moments with that, but it should keep unwinding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other protocols that would be more
No, I'd
beneficial
stick
for me
to
to
with
do?
what we're talking about. Yeah, stick with what we're talking about.
Okay, so still the
Yeah.
same
And
things.
then whenever you can, let yourself just rest. Like, okay, I know it's 4, but I'm gonna lay down for a little bit. Like, give yourself permission to do that.
Yeah, I'm not good at that, so I need to work on
Yeah,
that for sure. Yeah,
I kind of figured that.
yeah. And by the way, we're the same sign. We don't know how to
Right.
like stop, and
No,
that doesn't. No,
no.
rest is oh, so yeah.
Uh-uh.
Okay. So I'll keep doing all the
People
things.
ask me, what do you do for fun? And I'm like, work.
Yeah,
Like, I love my work. Like I work. That's way more
yeah.
entertaining than a movie.
And there's like, and I feel like there's always stuff to do
Yeah.
and arrange and organize. So I just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just keep doing
Mhm.
these all same things. Okay.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Speaking of Capricorns, go ahead, Letty, and then Megan.
Hey, Miss Lady.
Hi, Greg, I was going to ask you, can you give me permission to rest?
Yes, you have permission.
Oh my goodness.
If you need me to send you a formal letter, I can do that.
Yeah, I don't think it's something I know how to do, but I know I honestly I think I do rest when I'm taking your classes. I end
Yeah.
up taking quite a bit of naps.
Good.
Sister says I think I just like to take your classes just so I can nap all day.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Okay, no, Greg, so I just wanted to touch base really quick on I had sent Sam a text message on one of my older brothers. That's at a nursing home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it was he had a stroke, but I don't think it was like anything massive because I was talking to my sister and I think they're gonna return him back to the nursing home that he was at. But before I knew this, I was gonna ask you because I was thinking I was gonna wait till we are off on spring break to go see him. But I just wanted to make sure like did I have enough time or just should I go? Should I actually take a day off or something? But I mean, I don't know. I think it seems like he's gonna be okay.
I mean, he looks a little jacked up, but he looks like stable.
Okay.
You know, he had a rough day or two,
Yeah.
but I mean, I would go see him soon, but I don't know that you need to like adjust your schedule. That's probably fine unless, he starts to take a turn for the worse. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. So I had another
his body for going through a stroke
stroke.
looks strong for having a stroke.
Okay, that's
So
good.
that's a good sign.
Hmm. Is there anything you think I should take him like and kind of just put on his body if I had a choice of anything?
Um, for me with stroke patients, I usually use like chamomiles and basil. Like I like the basil.
Chamomile base. Okay, like if I could take him
Yeah.
like a body tonic of that, or
Yeah,
just put on
just
him.
any version of that. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Greg, so I just had one other question.
I would be curious, like sometimes when they have a stroke, there's a thing that happens called hemiplegia, which like one side of the body gets stiff. When you go to see him, I'd be curious if that's happening, and if so, I'll have you put some things in place.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think there is already like he's a kind of already experiencing that, and I guess it was from like another stroke that he had. I just don't recall. Like one side is very like
like
stiff.
stiff and rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And it's almost kind of has stayed
basil
like
body tonic or petitgrain, basil, marjoram would probably work as well. But one of those, just choose one and body tonic and
okay.
work that with.
Okay. Greg, so I have another question. My boyfriend's daughter, she's 16. I'm not really sure if she's actually having like if she's truly having like suicidal thoughts or it's just typical teenage stuff going on. At this age where everybody has I mean all
Does
these
it come
teenagers.
up at certain times, or is it always an ongoing thing? Or
I think it comes up at different times. And I think there's like I think there's kind of stuff going on. I think with maybe like herself, like I don't know how how kids are like they think that, they're too big, that they're not pretty enough, just and I think she wants a boyfriend and I don't think that's working out. So I don't know if that's it's a combination of things. I mean, obviously she did lose her mom. It's been 4 years. And I know that's hard, but she was um, she was like 12, I think, when she lost her mom.
is she prone to depression?
I think so, yes.
I mean, would she go talk to somebody?
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
actually
I
yeah,
that's what I would do. I mean, I could try treating it, but like I'd feel more comfortable given that there's suicidal thoughts and not just depression, that she was talking to somebody. I mean, she might need to be put on a medication for a little bit, or, because at that age, they're not really gonna engage. Here we're talking about like natural things to do and everything, but if the person's not really wanting to or engaging it, I mean, that's when a medication works. It's not perfect, but it's kind of what you do sometimes. And she probably just needs to have somebody checking in on her from time to time. And if they evaluate, they'll put her in some form of therapy. I mean, they don't have the help that they used to, just because of all the budget issues and everything. But I would, even if she's doing it for attention or because she's upset, or my guess is she gets upset and frustrated and that's how she voices it because it's the most extreme thing that she can say. But I would still say I would take it serious because, you know 95% of the time she might just be doing it, but there's that one time that she acts on it. And so I would not just ignore it. I would do something about it. Even it doesn't have to be forceful and it doesn't have to be anything, but I would say some sort of effort in that area, that she talks to somebody or gets evaluated and on a med, or Even with her mother passing, even maybe going to like grief support group or something, you
Mhm.
know. The thing that I would say about a situation like this, it's a good time to increase their social interaction with people who know what they're going through. And it's like trying to do something one on one with somebody is one thing, but sometimes you put them in a group and that group becomes a therapeutic process. They're interacting with other people, they're hearing other people's perspectives, other people that have gone through it, they're supporting each other. There's all kinds of things that can come out of putting them in a group dynamic in a situation like this. And you still can do therapy and stuff, but sometimes the group can be more regulating than even the therapeutic process on a one-on-one basis. And so there's a time and a place for that. And she's going through her teenage years. Her mom died right as she was becoming a teenager or right before, and she's having all these issues that she would talk it out with her mom, or even if it was that she'd talk it out with her mom and be upset at her mom and whatever, she's not getting that dynamic. And that's probably contributing a bit. So I would say get her in a situation where she can talk to somebody, and maybe like a group grief support thing that she can do, where she can just talk about her feelings about her mom and passing, and, the difficulties, and, um, you know,
Yeah.
it would be good for her to vocalize things just because of her age.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, yeah.
Now, he's been very careful about like working me into the picture, right? I mean, I've met her already and everything, but like he's still kind of a little bit just try to be careful. I just want to make sure like me coming into the picture is not causing or making things worse.
I mean, I think it's a natural process of life. I would say that however she acts or behaves, try to be as neutral as possible, because in a weird way, you might not be the surrogate mom, but you're the potential. You know what I mean? And um, some anger might come out that has nothing to do with you, but you're in that post, so you might get a little bit of that. I would not take any of it personal. Like you know, it's just one of those things that happens. It's displaced anger, but it might stimulate a little bit of her grieving process, and anger will pass. But like if that happens, it's nothing to fix. It's a wild horse that you just let it run the juice out of its legs, you know, within reason. You know what I mean? Like if they get
Yeah.
like crazy and out of control, that's a whole other ball of wax. But if there's just like she's like, you know,
Yeah.
let her have it for a little bit. I would. It's not healthy, but it's also not healthy shutting it down. And she does need to express a little bit. And she probably hasn't had a chance or hasn't known how. And so when it comes out at first, it's not gonna make any sense. It's not gonna make any sense at all. But it's good that the process is happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you suggest I clean like her front and back solar and like her enlarge her main main just so that she doesn't have it?
Yeah, main man. Like, just clean her up, you know. Was
Okay.
she in the hill oils or
I think she would, yeah.
a little ginger lily if you have it?
Okay.
Yeah. It would help her move through those emotions a little bit quicker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plus it smells so good. So who
Yeah.
doesn't love some ginger lily?
Let me say this about her. She feels very hurt. Like almost like somebody did something to her, but it's just life and the situation. but it feels very like personal to her. And it is personal, but like it's like it almost feels like on purpose to her. And it's just a thing that happened, you know. But at first, that's the way she'll behave.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It, when she starts to process some of those emotions about her mom, even though she's 16, how old was she when her mom died? 12.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be dealing with a 12-year-old there for a little bit, just a little bit. It'll pass, but it's like there'll be like a stuck piece of the ego there that's of the age. So when she starts to process it, I mean, it could be 40 years later. It's still a 12-year-old come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make sure it was real and not just like you know how sometimes some of these kids nowadays use all sorts of excuses not to go to school or whatever, but just wanted to make
She,
sure.
she looks like I don't know that I'd say hurt feelings, but she's walking around feeling hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I get it. Like if
Yeah.
I was in her shoes, and especially like if there's a potential woman coming into what used to be my mom's space, I think.
I think for her it has more to do with social things.
Okay.
Like she's having to navigate things that she's having to figure out a little bit on her own, and it's more the social issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You could try talking some of that out with her if she's open to it, but
Mm.
let's see.
Oh.
Yeah. She probably won't want to talk to you very much at first.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very minimal stuff, she says.
Yeah.
Like she'll talk about kids at her school, things they do, and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, the kids do that stuff at my school too, so that kind of stuff, like, kids, she talked about, a girl was vaping in the restroom and went to alternative, and I'm like thinking, oh yeah, we see that all day long at my school. So there's that stuff in common, right? She's in high school
Laugh,
and I work with those kids, and
laugh with her. Like do things and talk about things like where you can come up with things to laugh about. It'll help her process.
okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you. Thanks, Sam.
Whenever somebody's having something difficult at some point, if they can either cry or laugh, they usually move through it.
Okay. Thank you.
And then go ahead, Megan, and then Carol.
Hey,
Hey, I've been doing some dorje and phurba and that materialization process where you point it down and you do the materialization breath. And then I also still do it where I put the issue in the heart and I do the breath that way. Is there any way to determine if one of those is the right one for that goal or healing process maybe I want to do? Does it matter?
I would do what were you doing the dorje? You're doing the dorje and the materialization breath?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would do that and even do the dorje with the 4 quadrants, like just have it down and then awareness there, then there, then there, then there. Like do that a bit too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you just then rotate, like, should I take turns between those three processes, or do you think the dorje is a good one for me
The
to?
dorje is a better
Okay,
try.
got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're so welcome.
And then go ahead, Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Let's get you unmuted.
Hello, Greg. I'm
All
going to
right.
try to make this as short as I can, but I want to just go over what happened to me in the last 6 weeks.
Okay.
What started as a rat invasion in my apartment became something where I had reactions that no doctor understood.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't eat anything. I started throwing up whatever I tried to eat. So it was undigested food. This went on for about 6 weeks. I was fatigued. I didn't feel well. I didn't know what it was most of that time because I hadn't discovered the droppings yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the ultimate reaction was I got a infection, and I think it was because my immune system was low.
Yeah.
I hadn't been eating except for very, very mild pasta and herb tea. So the result happened that I got a UTI infection,
Okay.
never had one before, didn't recognize any of the symptoms because I didn't have the normal symptoms. And it became a kidney infection.
Yeah.
And I finally went to the ER. It was the second time I'd been there. Nobody had checked anything. And I was on IVs for 5 months and then went to a rehab afterwards. I have a lot of feelings about not being heard, nobody listening,
Mhm.
and don't quite know the relationship between the all of the reaction that I had to the rats. I had
And
a,
all that's cleaned up now? Like you're able to
it
get
is cleaned up, but it took a
okay.
lot to do that, and I did a lot of it myself. So it is cleaned up. I
So
think I'm going to
when you were
do.
cleaning that up, were you able to wear a mask or no?
I didn't, but I had a lot of bleach around me,
Okay.
and I don't think I didn't touch anything. I was not, but I was breathing it basically.
Yeah,
And I
that's what
had
I was
been
gonna.
breathing this for 6 weeks without knowing it, or less than that, 4 weeks at that point. Um, by the time I finally went to the ER at the end of this period of time, I had a very bad back infection, backache, which I thought was because I'd been cleaning the rat crap. But in fact, it was a symptom of my kidney infection.
Okay.
So it all kind of merges together. I
Yeah,
feel
sure does.
very
So what
angry.
have they put you on? What have they put you on?
They put me on antibiotics, and I finished the regimen of antibiotics. I've been out of the rehab for 4 days, but I actually took the antibiotics for a little longer
Mhm.
than I was instructed to, because I didn't quite feel well, and I
Mhm.
still don't feel well.
Like what do you feel like you just don't feel like you have energy or your
Yeah,
stomach
I don't,
hurts or
right. I don't feel like I have energy. I usually highly energetic, have a lot of energy, do things pretty much, 3 or 4 nights a week. And I'm just really tired.
how have you been sleeping over the last few weeks?
I've been sleeping okay.
Okay. You're able to fall asleep, stay asleep, wake up a little bit refreshed?
Yeah, well, during the time in the hospital, you don't sleep because you're
Yeah.
awakened. And even in the rehab place, I had a roommate who kept me up for about 3 or 4 of the nights. But for the rest of the 5 nights, I slept fairly well.
And do you still have a UTI or no?
I'm not quite sure. Today I noticed that something felt a little off down there. Um, just not quite sure. I've been drinking
How long were
natural,
you
uh,
how long were you on antibiotics?
um, 5 days intravenously and 12 days follow up by pills.
Mm-hmm. So right now you're feeling fatigued,
Yeah,
your body's not feeling that great, but non-specifically. It's not like, oh, this hurts or this isn't working or
right.
right.
I had
Okay.
a couple days ago, I had an acupuncture appointment, and she put a needle where my kidneys would have been or are. And I
Mhm.
went, take that out quickly.
Right.
So it seems to me
Okay.
they're still quite, not really back to where they need to be.
So this is what I would say is for one, I would be very soft and very gentle about how um, we address this. You've gone through an ordeal, like
Yeah.
not just the being sick part, but the 6 weeks that you were exposed. Um, I would say that your diaphragm looks really wound up, and given that you were breathing all that stuff in, makes sense. But I, that will impact your breathing, that will impact your nervous system, it will impact digestive processes, but also it will really inhibit lymphatic function and the ability to clean, the body to detoxify. I would say I would feel more comfortable if you were able to like detoxify the lungs a little bit because even though you've had a bunch of antibiotics run through you,
Mhm.
I don't know, I was like you've been breathing all that in for a little bit. It's like I feel good about like move that stuff out of the lungs, whatever it might be there.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And at the same time balancing the or not balancing but relaxing the diaphragm. And there's some really simple oils that could work for you.
Okay.
Larch would be very good. Hyssop would be very good. Both of those would be good for the lungs, but also relax the diaphragm.
Did you say larch? I don't recognize what that name is. Is it L
Larch,
A?
yeah, Larch. Yeah.
Okay.
So another one that could actually be helpful here would be German chamomile.
Okay, I have that.
And yeah, German chamomile, if you have it, I'd start inhaling it because it will relax the bronchioles and the diaphragm a little bit, but
Okay.
it's very good for like post-infection. It's like cleaning everything up. It will stimulate some of the detoxification processes and blood cell production and things like that. And so I would use some of that, like definitely, but I would still work in like hyssop or larch, or if you don't have that, like maybe some frankincense, uh, like a spruce of some sort, something like that.
Hmm.
I think if you can open up the diaphragm and the lungs,
Uh-huh.
the body will start feeling better. But it doesn't look like you're breathing very deeply. And
Mm.
because the diaphragm's not moving very much, like blood and lymph's not moving through your body, like it's you got over the infection, but there's still all the waste product in your body and like what it did to your body, and you just got to spend a little bit of time unwinding that.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And if you have questions as you go through and do it, just shoot us an email and let us know. But you'll
Yeah.
have to probably do a few steps, but that is going to be a step for probably a week or two.
Uh-huh. And in the chamomile, I should be inhaling it. The
I would
other
inhale
ones
it, but
is
with the chamomile, like all the other things, I would say just inhale, like a bunch. But with the
uh-huh.
chamomile, you could even do a couple drops in water and take that
Okay.
internally. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so
Yeah.
much,
You're
Greg. I
so welcome.
appreciate
Keep
it.
us posted. Keep us posted.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And then, sorry, just okay. What oils can help post-surgery? My partner has a tear in his rotator cuff that is getting done.
So post surgery, there's like a few things I would do. Just like after the surgery, don't have them start doing it before the surgery, but like post surgery, um, black cumin or black seed, taken internally, will help reduce inflammation and stimulate the body's healing processes. And then galbanum, which you can just wear on the wrist, very good for hoping to ease the pain, and but more than the pain, it helps to reduce the tension from the body being in pain or uncomfortable. Like it just takes this edge off that's quite substantial. And in doing so, inflammation will go down faster than it would on its own. Um, then on the surgery site, like once the wound is closed, I would put helichrysum. It will help reduce the scar tissue, will help reduce inflammation, and it will have pain relieving properties to it. It will help break up the stagnant blood that's left there after post surgery. And then if you're still wanting to do a little more, there's like we make a thing called blue healer. You could use a blue heater body tonic or yarrow or German chamomile, like in alcohol, like several drops. You can look up on our site how to make a body tonic and shake it up really good and then put it on the area, including like the mid back area. That will be very soothing to the body, because even though it's a surgery, it's still a traumatic event. And so the body, it's going to be in pain, things are going to be a little swollen, and there's a little bit of agitation in the body because of all that. And usually after a surgery, the second week is harder than the first week. So if you can get that in motion and get him as comfortable as possible, it should make the second week much easier. And so the thing with like the German chamomile or yarrow or blue healer is it will reduce inflammation, but also disperse the swelling or the excess fluid in that area. And it does help to stimulate like a metabolic cleanup. And so that's a good little combination. We do have like a surgery pack that
I think we call it a post-op kit.
I think we do have a post-op kit that has instructions and everything. And
Greg,
uh-huh.
it's Danelle, so it's my partner.
Uh-huh.
He absolutely hates galbanum. It makes him sick.
Okay.
So is there any
myrrh?
Myrrh. Okay,
Yeah.
myrrh. Perfect. Yeah.
Myrrh. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Galbanum, like an acquired taste. You know what I mean? It's like
yes, I don't mind it.
Weird cousin of frankincense that,
if I open it even a tiny bit in one of the rooms, he can just smell it and he gets really upset.
Yeah, I get it. So try the myrrh. Yeah. If myrrh's not it, like spikenard, if he doesn't like galbanum, he might not like spikenard either, but myrrh would probably be tolerant.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine with myrrh. And then you said the blue healer goes kind of along on his back.
You can put it like in and near the area, like when the wound is open, I wouldn't put it on, but get kind of in and around, but then on the back and the abdomen, because it'll calm his body down and it will keep reducing inflammation. And then once the wound is closed, you can actually hit that area with it. So, but the helichrysum on it will definitely reduce the scar tissue. But if he's having, like he tore his rotator cuff, they'll probably scope it. Like, it depends on the surgeon. So if they scope it, you really don't have a lot of scar tissue to deal with. So you might not really need that one. There's going to be the scar tissue where they're stapling something back to the bone, or they're doing whatever. There is going to be some scar tissue like that, but as far as the incisions and everything, it's with a scope, it's usually not that bad.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and do you recommend anything in the diffuser? Just because he gets agitated and anxious. He's a difficult patient.
Yeah, I would say just something that he finds relaxing.
Like lavender.
Lavender, spikenard, lemongrass, anything that just, allows him to have a chill pill and just go, okay, I can let my body relax for this. Because the more that he relaxes, the faster that will heal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I'm so excited to get the new difficult times blend. If you could let me know how to use it, like what's the application?
So the difficult times blend, the way to use it is you can just inhale it. You can put a few drops like on your wrist or on your heart. But I would say the way to use it would be inhale it with your awareness on the ajna, and then inhale it with your awareness on the navel and then the navel minor. So ajna, navel, navel minor. Yeah. If you want to take a salt bath in it too, that's fancy salt bath, but it still is. I've found it to be quite nice.
I have the universal healer. Would I apply it neat or in a roller ball for application?
Depends on what you're using it for, but I would say probably with the universal healer, if you are going to apply it, you could do it as a body tonic. You could put it like if you wanted to dab it on the chakras, but the most potent way would probably be inhalation. So inhaling, either following a pattern, specific to what you're doing, or if you have something that you're trying to treat, you could think of the situation and inhale that. Sometimes I'll just inhale it on my brain. That feels quite nice. And if you're not sure and you're just doing cleanup, because the thing that it's also good for is just stress, is you can just inhale it, not really directing it, and just let it flush things out of the body. So, either way. Yeah.
I think that's all the questions for tonight, Greg.
Yeah, we have like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah. Do you want to just tell us a story?
Yeah. Nobody has one last question?
Oh, wait. I'd like to ask about spagyric tincture.
Yeah.
I'm taking spagyric blue lotus tincture.
Mhm.
I am sensitive to alcohol, hence taking around 10 drops only instead of a dropper full.
Mhm.
Is taking 10 drops sufficient?
Dropper full would be stronger, but 10 drops is still doing something. Yeah, totally still doing something. Yeah, I looked at like trying to do it with glycerin, but it just didn't do the same extraction. We are kicking around like doing it with vinegar, apple cider vinegar, which is Samantha's specialty. And so we just haven't put that in motion yet, but maybe until then, add it to some water or juice, or if it's just the alcohol causing the sensitivity in general, if you can do 10 or 12 drops, do that. Yeah.
And if it is the sensitivity, could spacing it out, like
Yeah.
doing it also work? 'Cause
Yeah,
some
I would
people do
think. I
that.
mean, you know your body better than I do. So, you could do 10, 12 drops, and then maybe in a few hours do another 10, 12 drops. Yeah, that one feels nice. So like if all of a sudden your mind feels like calm and you're like in a little bit different place, you're getting a good dosage. Even a small dosage, you'll feel something, but I kind of shoot for like, oh, like it's very soothing, especially to the mind. The Blue Lotus, especially to the mind. So
And then Lolly and Carol, your hands went up. Go ahead, Lolly, first.
yeah.
Yeah, just to follow up on what we talked about earlier, if I were to take St. John's wort or golden seal for whatever I have going on, would you do it like once or twice a day? I have the
I would probably do it
spagyric
twice. I would probably do it twice a day.
from both and do
I
like,
would just choose one, and then whichever one you have, I would just like twice a day.
oh yeah, easier to take the St. John's wort spagyric. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
So
And then go ahead, Carol. Let's get you on. There you go. We can't hear you yet.
Oh.
Yes.
Hello, Greg. I have one other question. Because I had a UTI and never had one before, I'm a little unaware of what to actually experience. And right now I'm having a bit of burning. Does that mean my infection is still
It might
active?
mean that you have a little bit of what they call cystitis, which is the bladder got inflamed. So, like, be it that it's an infection or cystitis, I would try taking a few drops of tea tree.
Tea tree? Okay.
Yeah, about every 6 hours, like in water, like just
Internally.
yeah, for like a few days, and it should
Okay.
knock that out.
Okay, good. And I should, I guess, avoid hot tubs and even a pool and
Yeah,
things like
I
that.
would let your body, yeah, just
Okay.
relax. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. I
You're so
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Good luck. Keep us posted. So
Okay, I will.
we're
Thank
gonna.
you.
You're so welcome.
Uh-huh.
I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you. I'm sure I will. Bye-bye now.
Bye bye. So we're going to move over to the Astara prayer petition blessing, and we'll do a little 15-20 minute meditation if you want to join us, and we bless the prayer petitions. And so join us if you'd like, and if not, we have our study group tomorrow night, and then the new class on the weekend. So hope to see you somewhere. Anyway, take care.